A homeowner in Ohio spent $40,000 renovating her dream house, and within 18 months, every single wall in that house had to be torn out and redone. The reason wasn't the paint, it wasn't the flooring, it wasn't even the plumbing. It was something so simple, so ordinary, that almost nobody thinks twice about it. It was the drywall. And what happened inside those walls, hidden behind a fresh coat of paint, is a warning every homeowner in America needs to hear before they ever sign off on a renovation. If you've ever wondered why some homes feel solid and expensive, while others feel cheap no matter how much money was spent on them, subscribe now. Because every week we break down the hidden construction mistakes that separate a house that lasts decades from one that starts falling apart before the paint even dries. Drywall seems like the simplest part of building a house. It's just a flat panel of gypsum, screwed to a frame, taped at the seams, and covered in a bit of joint compound. Millions of homes across the country are built this way, and most people assume that if a wall looks smooth and white, it must be done correctly. But that assumption is exactly what allows bad work to hide in plain sight for years. The truth is that drywall installation is one of the most deceptive parts of construction. A wall can look absolutely perfect the day it's painted and still be hiding problems that won't show up for months, sometimes years. By the time those problems surface, the homeowner is no longer thinking about the contractor who installed it. They're thinking about the crack running across their ceiling or the strange bulge near the corner of their living room, wondering what on earth is happening inside their own home. At first, it doesn't seem like a serious problem. Maybe there's a thin line near a seam. Maybe a screw head is poking through the paint just slightly. Homeowners often brush this off as normal settling, something every house experiences, and in some cases that's true. But in most cases, what they're actually looking at is the first visible symptom of a mistake that was made the day the drywall went up, one that was never going to stay hidden forever. One of the very first things that separates amateur work from professional work is something most people would never think to check, and that's the spacing of the screws. Professional installers follow a strict pattern, driving screws every 12 to 16 inches along the studs, sinking each one just deep enough to create a slight dimple without tearing through the paper surface. It sounds like a small detail. It isn't. When screws are spaced too far apart or driven at random angles instead of straight into the framing, the drywall panel isn't actually secured the way it needs to be. It might look fine on installation day, held loosely in place by gravity and a handful of scattered fasteners. But drywall panels are heavy. Walls shift slightly with temperature and humidity, and a panel that isn't properly anchored will eventually begin to sag, crack, or pull away from the studs entirely. This hidden detail changes everything about how a wall behaves over time. A properly fastened wall moves with the house, flexing almost imperceptibly as the building settles. A poorly fastened wall doesn't move with the house. It fights against it, and something has to give. Usually that something is the paint and the joint compound, which crack first, long before anyone realizes the real problem is buried inside the wall itself. But screw spacing is just the beginning. What happened next in that Ohio renovation is where things start to get far more serious, and it's a mistake that shows up in homes across the entire country, from brand new construction to century-old properties being flipped for profit. The next clue was in the seams. Every place where two drywall panels meet has to be taped and covered with several thin layers of joint compound, sanded smooth between each layer until the seam disappears completely into the surrounding wall. This process, when done correctly, takes real patience. A professional will apply compound, let it dry completely, sand it down, and repeat that process 2 or 3 times, feathering the edges out further and further until there's no visible ridge, bump, or shadow line anywhere near the seam. Now comes the part that costs homeowners the most money. Cutting corners on this step is incredibly common because it's also the most time-consuming part of the entire job. Some installers rush through it, applying one thick layer of compound instead of multiple thin ones, sanding quickly instead of thoroughly, and moving on to painting before the compound has even had time to fully cure. Under bright daylight or certain angles of interior lighting, this shows up instantly as a faint shadow running along every seam in a room, a subtle but unmistakable sign that the wall was rushed. Homeowners often notice this months after moving in, usually when the afternoon sun hits the wall just right and suddenly reveals a ripple they never saw before. Most homeowners never notice this until they're trying to sell the house, and a home inspector points directly at the seams as evidence of amateur work. It's an awkward moment, standing in a home you thought was finished to a high standard, only to be told that the walls themselves are visibly imperfect to anyone who knows what to look for. There was one critical mistake almost nobody noticed until it was far too late, and it had nothing to do with the surface of the wall at all. It was about moisture. Drywall and moisture do not mix. Standard drywall panels are made from gypsum, sandwiched between layers of paper, and paper absorbs water. In bathrooms, laundry rooms, basements, and any area near plumbing, professionals use a different type of board entirely, one that's moisture resistant or specifically rated for high humidity environments. Skipping this step and using standard drywall in a bathroom might save a contractor a small amount of money on materials, but it sets up a slow-motion disaster that plays out behind the tile and behind the paint, completely invisible until the damage has already spread. Here's where everything changed for one family who had their basement finished by a low-cost contractor looking to save on materials. For the first year, everything looked wonderful. Fresh white walls, new carpet, a cozy space for movie nights. But basements are naturally more humid than the rest of a house, sitting below ground level where moisture from the soil is constantly pressing against the foundation walls. Slowly, invisibly, that moisture began working its way into the drywall. By the time a faint, musty smell started appearing near the corner of the room, the damage inside the wall was already extensive. When they finally opened up that wall, what they found explains why professional contractors are so strict about material choice in areas like this. The paper backing of the drywall had become a breeding ground for mold, spreading silently behind the paint for months. The insulation behind it was damp and useless. What should have been a simple finishing job had turned into a full teardown, complete with mold remediation, which is neither cheap nor quick. The family had to leave that section of their basement completely unusable for weeks while the problem was corrected the right way. This time with proper moisture-resistant board and a vapor barrier installed exactly where it needed to be. This is where the story starts, connecting all the earlier clues together. Poor screw spacing, rushed seams, wrong materials for the environment. Individually, each mistake might seem minor. Together, they represent a pattern, a shortcut-driven approach to construction that prioritizes speed over durability. And that pattern shows up again and again in one of the most overlooked mistakes in residential drywall work, which is failing to properly tape and finish inside corners. Inside corners, where two walls meet at a 90-degree angle, require a completely different technique than flat seams. Professionals use paper or fiberglass tape folded precisely down the center, pressed firmly into the corner, then finished with compound on both sides in a way that keeps the angle crisp and straight. When this is rushed or done with the wrong technique, the corner develops a wavy, uneven look almost immediately. Doors near these corners start to look slightly crooked even when they're hung correctly, because the human eye instinctively uses those corner lines to judge whether a room is square. A wavy corner throws off that entire visual impression, making an otherwise well-built room feel subtly, unexplainably off. But the biggest mistake hadn't even happened yet, and it's one that turns a cosmetic problem into a structural one. It involves what happens at the ceiling. Ceilings carry an enormous amount of weight in drywall installation, and gravity is constantly working against every screw and every seam up there. Professionals use thicker panels on ceilings specifically because standard wall thickness board simply isn't strong enough to resist sagging over larger spans, especially in homes with wider spacing between ceiling joists. When a contractor uses the wrong thickness to save money or spaces the screws too far apart because reaching overhead is more physically demanding, the ceiling begins to sag almost invisibly at first. It might take a year, sometimes two, before someone finally notices a slight dip in the middle of a room, or worse, discovers a crack spreading outward from a light fixture where the panel has been slowly pulling away from the framing under its own weight. This is one of the most dangerous mistakes in the entire list, because unlike a wall, a sagging ceiling isn't just an aesthetic problem. It's a warning sign of potential structural failure. In extreme cases, if it's ignored long enough, sections of ceiling drywall have been known to detach entirely, falling without warning into an occupied room. That's an outcome nobody wants to imagine happening in their own home, and it's entirely preventable with the correct materials and proper fastening from the very beginning. At this point, the pattern becomes undeniable. Every single mistake traces back to the same root cause, which is cutting corners on a process that looks simple from the outside, but actually requires real skill, patience, and attention to detail. This is exactly why experienced contractors treat drywall installation with far more respect than most homeowners expect. They know that a wall isn't just a decorative surface, it's a system. One that has to handle temperature changes, humidity, structural settling, and years of everyday wear, all while looking flawless under every kind of lighting a homeowner might use. So what does correct installation actually look like when it's done by someone who takes the process seriously? It starts with proper spacing and fastening, screws driven straight into solid framing at consistent intervals, deep enough to hold firmly without tearing the paper surface. It continues with patience at every seam, multiple thin layers of compound instead of one thick, rushed layer, each one sanded smooth and allowed to cure fully before the next is applied. It means choosing the right type of board for the right environment. Moisture-resistant panels in bathrooms and basements, appropriately thick panels on ceilings and long spans. And it means taking corners seriously, using the correct taping technique to keep every angle in the house crisp, straight, and visually honest. None of this is complicated in theory, but in practice, it requires something that's becoming increasingly rare in a construction industry driven by tight deadlines and thin profit margins. And that's simply taking the time to do the job right the first time. Every mistake described here, the loose screws, the rushed seams, the wrong materials, the underspecified ceiling panels, could have been avoided entirely with proper planning and a willingness to slow down during a phase of construction that most people assume doesn't matter. For the family whose renovation ended up costing them $40,000 in unexpected repairs, the lesson came the hard way. What looked like a beautifully finished home was actually a house full of shortcuts, each one invisible until it wasn't. Their walls had to be stripped back to the studs, the mold remediated, the ceilings reinforced, and the entire job redone using the standards that should have been followed from the very beginning. It's a costly lesson, but one that offers real value to anyone watching who's planning a renovation of their own. or simply trying to understand why some homes hold up beautifully for decades, while others start falling apart almost immediately. The next time you walk through a home, whether it's one you already own or one you're considering buying, take a moment to really look at the walls. Stand at an angle and let the light hit the surface. Look closely at the corners where two walls meet. Notice whether the ceiling feels perfectly flat or whether there's a subtle dip near the center of the room. These small details tell a story most people never think to read. A story about whether the person who built that space took genuine pride in their work, or whether they were simply racing to finish the job and move on to the next one. Understanding these hidden signs doesn't just make you a smarter homeowner. It gives you the ability to walk into any house and immediately recognize the difference between work that was built to last and work that was built to be sold. That knowledge alone can save you from making the same expensive mistake that cost one family tens of thousands of dollars and months of disruption to fix something that should have been done properly from day one. If this kind of hidden construction story fascinates you as much as it fascinates us, come back next week, because there's always another investigation waiting behind the walls, under the floors, and inside the systems that hold our homes together, and we'll be right here, uncovering it with you.